everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. You turn my morning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love, something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything, changes everything. Something about your love, something about your love changes everything. You turn my morning into dancing. 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 Something about your love, something about your love changes everything.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's snowing out there. It looks beautiful. Looks beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be going through Mark chapter 2, verses 18 through 22. So go get your Bibles out while I say hi to some folks. We got Diane. This is the second time I've called you Diane, Dr. Colleen. I don't know why I keep doing that. Dr. Colleen. Not there yet. Chuck B. Ken Gooch. Teresa. And Jody. Good morning. Bert Reggiani. is on here as well. Good.
Passed away last night.
Oh man, Bert, our prayers are with you, brother. Know we love you, and yeah, we're praying for you and the rest of the Deodorians. Connie, good morning. Looking forward to coming down there again next month. All right, so we have. Let's see if I can pull this passage up for us. There we go. Hey, Vivian Davis and Alice popped on here as well. Good morning to you guys. All right, verse 18. Now John's disciples and the Pharisees were fasting. And people came and said to him, "Why do John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" And Jesus said to them, Jesus said to them, can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. Well, let's just keep going. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in that day. So let's talk about this. Now, I vaguely remember, is it John 3 where John the Baptist calls Jesus the bridegroom? I'm thinking Jesus's response is directed at John's disciples, who would recognize somewhere John the Baptist calls Jesus the bridegroom. And so I'm thinking his response is directly to them, right? And I'm thinking this question is coming from a different heart than like the Pharisees. The Pharisees are always asking questions, trying to trap Jesus.
It's coming from John's disciples,
right? And this is coming from John's disciples, who were like,
because they'd be considered on the same side.
Yeah, right.
So why are you guys doing something different than we're doing?
Yeah,
right.
Like we're doing this. We're like. They probably live similar to, like, John the Baptist was this guy who, you know, he was given the fasting and like just this kind of life outside the city, right? Mm-hmm. Like this like wilderness type experience. And then so his disciples are like, oh, what in the world, right? You're like, you're feasting, you're laughing and fellowship and all this stuff, and like, we're starving out here. I mean, I would want to know this answer too. But Jesus says to them, can the wedding guests feast while the bridegroom is with them? Or can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. And I just love this picture, right? It's like you think about a wedding. And nobody's gonna be fasting at the reception. Nobody's gonna, right? Like, it's a celebration, like, and all that. And he says there will come a day, right, where the bridegroom is taken away, and then yes, there will be fasting. But I just love this picture, and I love, like, you can just see the difference, right, between like, people asking questions to try to trap Jesus, and then people asking questions just for clarity, like help us understand this. I do want to.
And if Jesus is the bridegroom, which the Old Testament talks about, right? The one that's going to come is going to be like the bride, and the groom, and we're the bride.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the disciples need to spiritually fast if they're with him? Because the reason we fast is to get close to him. He's already there.
Yeah.
The answer to all your problems, the answer to all your questions, everything that you might fast for is right in front of you.
It's right there.
So once he leaves, you'll fast again. Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's so good. That's so good.
When he says, I am, I mean, he's it. Oh my gosh, it's so powerful.
Yeah. Come on. So good. So yeah, you're exactly right. Fasting is a way to eliminate the distractions so that
Correct.
we can get closer.
To him.
Right? It's our pursuit. It's our heart's pursuit after, like, hey, I don't want to be distracted by this other stuff. I don't want to, like, all these other things so often, right, in our day-to-day lives. Like, it's just busy, and we try to squeeze God in.
Mm-hmm.
Fasting is us intentionally saying, hey, let me weed out some of this stuff, and so then I can just focus on you. And yeah, and so it's like, why fast when he's already got it? He's already right there. He's already at arm's length reach. So when he is removed, when the bridegroom is removed, the day will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in that day. And then he goes into these two examples. He says, one, no one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. If he does, the patch tears away from it, the new from the old, and the worst tear is made. And then the second one is, and no one puts new wine into old wineskin. If he does, the wine will burst the skins, and the wine is destroyed, and so are the skins. But new wine is for fresh wineskins. Now, I was at the gym again this morning and thinking about these two. One is like the outside, right? Like the patch is like you're just trying to patch up the outside, but it's still you're trying to marry these two different things. And Jesus is saying, hey, I don't want to be this patch that you put on top of Judaism. I don't want to be this patch that you put on top of what you've already been doing and already established. No, I'm here to establish a new kingdom, right? Like, not trying, you no longer are going to have to try to make yourself righteous by these these rituals, these like sacrifices and all these other things. Like, that is done away with. Like, you're no longer looking to the law to kind of be justified and try to be righteous by the law, because that's impossible anyway. Mm-hmm. You look to me, right? Now I am that sacrifice that was done once and for all sins, to restore that which was lost from the beginning. Like so it's not this patch, right? And as long as you're trying to patch it, you're just going to end up worse than you were before. And then the second one is this new wineskin, right? It's like the inward effect of the gospel, right? Like the inward, like it's something you consume, and he says, no one puts new wine into old wineskin. And I had this picture, or remember when Jesus is talking about, like, where the law says, where Moses says, do not murder. But I say, hey, don't even, like, if you just think hate in your heart, if you just think, these things, then you've already done it, right? And it's like Jesus was getting at what's the heart behind this thing? What is like it's way more than just like what we're actually doing outwardly, but like, let's get to your heart. Let the gospel penetrate all the way in and create something new, mm-hmm. right? Like, not trying to say, not say, all right, let's just add, some Christ in, and so now we're gonna do these rituals through this new lens of Christianity, but it's like, no, God, I just want you, right? Like, I want to be completely consumed by you. And then in other parts of the scripture, he says, my law will I write on your heart, right? And so we already have this barometer of good and bad. And so it's not about trying to just follow the rituals or follow the traditions and all this other things, but it's actually like, God, my heart posture is I want to be with you. I want, this heart posture of surrender, and that will lead us and guide us to eternal truth in His Word. And it's not like we have to try to oh man, I gotta sacrifice. I gotta do all these things. I gotta, honor the Sabbath day and all these other things that they've been accustomed to doing. But it's actually, they might still do some of those things, but it's the heart posture behind it all, right? My heart posture is like, it's not that I have to do these things, but maybe for the sake of relationship, I want to honor you in this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Jesus is the new patch. Jesus is the new wine.
Yeah.
You put me on an old garment, I'll rip it to pieces. You put me in an old wineskin, I'll blow it up.
Yeah.
I have to go onto something new.
Yeah.
Unless you're born again, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the woman at the well, the day's coming, and soon will be here, when everyone who believes in me will worship me in spirit and truth.
Yeah. Not here nor there.
I'm not here to be attached to something old. I'm here to bring something entirely new.
Yeah.
Right? Jeremiah 31. A new covenant I bring to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. So good. So good.
I like Tuesday mornings.
I love it. Oh, this is so good. Oh, look, Jody says, so good. So good. I love it. Oh, and Chuck found that passage. It's 3:29, where John the Baptist calls Jesus
There we go.
the bridegroom. This is really good, coming from Karen out there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I hope this was an encouragement to you. We'll be back here at 9 for some prayer. So make sure you tune. I'm looking at your icons, but your faces are over here. So I'll look this way. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.